Well, I'm really excited today to be welcomed by Pornstar extraordinaire Dante Colle, who's in the new film Pornstar Pandemic, The Guys. Like I said offline, I watched the film. I really enjoyed it, particularly your part. And I think my first question to you was, did you enjoy the process of documenting yourself? Like we got a day in the life of Dante Colle. And I think you were one of my favorites because you gave us such variety. It was almost like a filmmaker's view of it. And did you enjoy that process?
Um, yeah, I mean, I was just kind of told like, get A, B, C, D, and then I was like try to get as much of it as possible. I like kind of like working with film stuff. I mean, I've always kind of liked the idea of like director's route, so I guess, whatever that may be, but like I've never really fully directed myself. It just seems like a lot of work. But uh yeah, I very much enjoyed it because it was I feel like I had like a very interesting situation to like be living in, and I was just like, I this would be a cool chance to like share that. So
Right. I mean, you're like an editor's dream because editors need content to splice away. And so I'm assuming you gave the editor like plenty to pick from and choose from. But
quite a bit.
on your story part, you just tapped on that. You live in a trailer, a very spruced up, like badass trailer. How did that come about? And why do you live in a trailer?
So I've been doing the whole trailer life thing for just about 3 years now, actually. And I kind of got to the whole point where I was, I was making more money, and this is like 5 years ago. So I was making more money, and I was just kind of like, one point, I don't need this, and then so I got rid of that, and then I'm like, I don't need this, and then I got rid of that, and then it just kept going and going, and then next thing you know, I was just like, I had like very little clothes left, and I was just like, I only use what I need, or I only have what I need, and I just kept going on from there. And then like I was just like, what, my like I don't need all this space. I have a 2 bedroom apartment and I live by myself. Like, why do I need that? So then I went to a smaller apartment. I'm like, this feels so much better. It's more quaint. And then from there I got a smaller apartment after that one. And then eventually from there I just moved into a trailer because then I was just like, I want to be in California, but I don't want to commit to one spot. I am good with a small space. And this gives me the freedom to do whatever I want, and I can own my own home for incredibly cheap and live wherever the fuck I want.
Well, I love it. And we should note for people listening or watching that it's not any trailer. It's like you've decked it out. I mean, did you have a hand in all of that? I mean, it doesn't look, it looks like really cool. Like I want to live in there.
uh yeah, I mean, I had I had bought one trailer initially, and it was just like it didn't work right for what I wanted, and I bought it new. So then I just kind of like did some things and learned how I like certain other things, yada yada. And then eventually a year later I got the one I have now, and it completely renovated it. It just like did everything because I'm like, I already knew what I wanted out of a home. And so, and then I just took bits and pieces out of everything, and then put in my own washer and dryer, and changed up the bathroom, put in a
Pull up
water,
bar.
yeah, pull up bar on the back. And that was recent to that because I'm like, I couldn't work out, so I was just like, and I love pull ups, muscle ups, and shit, so I need that. Um, yeah, and so I did pretty much all the work myself because like I knew what I wanted already, and just kind of went on from there.
So we all know porn is fantasy. And if content driven sites like OnlyFans that you participate in are, well, you create the content and they're a little bit more interaction with your fans, a little bit less polished, if you will. So with
Mhm.
this film, Pornstar Pandemic, the documentary that we're talking about here, we really got to get an insider look into you. Did you have any apprehension when they pitched the idea to participate in this? Like, ooh, am I going to be oversharing or any of that? Or did you think it was important to share?
Um, I did not have any apprehension at all. I'm a very open person. I'm an open book. I don't have anything in my life that I want to hide or care to hide. Like, I do what I do and proud of doing it, kind of a thing. So it's just like, I don't really need to or feel the need to hide anything. Most of the things that I shared in there, it felt like it was an opportunity to share it to like a certain audience, and so there was, about like the buy stuff, and I kind of forgot a lot of the details because this was done a long time ago, or
Right.
no, well, it was like in the beginning of the quarantine when it happened, but there I feel like there's certain things that needed to be shared, but like no, I did not have any apprehension as to doing anything at all.
Because I would imagine so many of your fans that follow you on all your content driven sites or watch your porn are going to, oh my gosh, Dante Colle, if you're already a fan, you're going to want to watch this film. And they're going to see, a different side of you. Although I thought it was extremely flattering. I mean, you call yourself a hippie in the streets, GQ in the sheets on your fans page. I like that. And you masturbate in exotic places. I'm not mad at that. So yeah, I mean, knowing that there's porn is fantasy, you didn't mind that your fans are going to get to, or did you? It sounds like you enjoyed the idea that they're going to get to see, particularly during this pandemic, a different side of you.
Yeah, because I mean, I share that kind of stuff on my social media, like not like in such detail, but like
Right.
on my OnlyFans and Instagram, Twitter, I put it out there, like kind of like what am I doing on the daily, just like here and there sometimes. So it's
This was just a more expansive way to kind of see it. So I like
exactly.
that. You mentioned, I was going to talk about it in a minute, but you mentioned the bi stuff, bisexuality, and I really appreciated the part in without giving away too much. You do talk about. I think one of the guys asks you, "Well, do you consider yourself gay, bisexual, straight?" And I appreciated your answer. You said, you don't go by labels, it's whatever you like. But you did tap into bisexuality. And on this show, Tag's podcast, Talk About Gay Sex, it's talk about gay sex.
Hmm.
So in general, we have gay men listening to our audience, but not everybody. And I've made a concerted effort on this show to feature the trans community, but I've had bisexuals on the show as well, because I think it's important because I think oftentimes gay men just want to lump everybody into either gay for pay or it's 50-50 like you were stating in the film when you're bisexual. Was it important for you to talk about this stuff openly like this on this platform?
Yes, that was, in my opinion, one of the things that I, of all the things I probably would have shared, that was probably one of the more of like, hey, this is a good opportunity to like kind of like clear the air on certain things because just like you said, I find that a lot of people do kind of like clump it together like you're either gay or you're not.
Right.
There's not like an in between, and it's just like if you're a bisexual man doing gay porn, it's like you're not allowed to be doing that. It's just like, but why? If you're interested in guys too, like why not? And it's just kind of like the whole thing of people who have gone through such like harsh discrimination in their lives, and I'm referring to people who are gay.
Right.
Uh, you know, People who are gay have gone through like such terrible things in their life, and so I understand that. It's just like it feels like a straight man is just taking advantage of like their situation, something that they fought so hard to defend and be okay with, and it's just like I get it, but it's also like have an open mind that there is more than just gay and straight. You can be in the middle, and just I guess it wouldn't be gay sex at that point; it'd be bisex. But like, I don't know. It's just that's why I don't like labels because this is very confusing. Like you can hear what I'm saying, so it's just
Yeah.
like what you like, fuck who you want.
I'm for it. I'm for it. Yeah. Well, you talk a lot about, as all of the different porn stars on the documentary talk about working with content-driven sites, OnlyFans, just for fans, and so on and so forth. But I guess my question for you, since I have you here, is: do you miss working with partners and doing scenes during this time frame? Do you miss that? And or maybe you've already started to get back into it in some way, shape, or form?
Yes, I miss it quite a bit. There's I have done like definitely not as much as I was before. Probably maybe like I have gone back to streaming, but I would say I'm probably at like 50% capacity as to what I was. But I really do miss it because it's like I'm doing more of like, and I'm not complaining, but like I'm doing more of like the straight stuff now and buy stuff rather than the gay stuff, because like the biggest site I worked for was men.com and Nextdoor and Falcon, and Nextdoor didn't start shooting until very like, actually I don't even know if they're shooting right now. I thought that they might have been, but you know, like men.com isn't filming at all. You know,
Right.
they're doing like at home stuff, like, you know, like, hey, you know, you want to record this at home or whatever, but like you're not really working with partners, and it kind of sucks. And it's just like, you know, I've missed that side of it too. So I do miss it, but you know, it's things are getting better for sure.
Yeah, because you mentioned in the film, you in particular, and I was like, wow, he's awesome. You have always been good with money. Your parents, you mentioned that your parents taught you have a savings account. So for you, it's not, and you've been doing really well with these content-driven sites. So it's not like a financial thing. It's really, it sounds like what you're saying is you really enjoyed the part connecting with people that you want to work with, that whole interaction that takes place. And I guess that's why you got into it.
Yeah, it's like this porn industry is the one place where I found I fit in, and it's just kind of like, you know, like, oh, I'm here, you know, and I make money doing it, and it's like a career for me. So then it's just like, oh, you're not getting it as much. It kind of like kind of miss it, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still good though. It's getting better for sure.
Well, I had a fun watching comparing your footage with another D'Angelo Jackson. When you see the film, I understand you haven't seen it yet, but when you see it, because in some ways you were similar, and in some ways you were totally different. And I'm talking about he was taking his shower and putting on oil and moisturizing, and was telling the audience in his video profile on how important, how he has to be like semi-wet to put the moisture, the oil on, and this whole process. And you like admitted like you only take showers like maybe every other day, sometimes 2 days go by, which I thought was funny. And I thought that was really cool. But and then the cooking thing, you get home delivery
Mhm.
food, and he said he cooks. Well, okay, when he showed us how to cook, he was making ramen noodles, which I thought was really funny.
Ramen
But
noodles are good though.
they are very good. Yeah, no, I loved it. But what you both shared, and you two were my favorites, because you both had a lot of content and it was really engaging. And I thought that was, it's going to be fun for people to watch that. But I think my next question, two more questions, just hang in there with me. You know, you are part of two other top porn stars featured in this film, but there's two newbies that are featured in this. One sort of interviews you and all the performers, and then there's another one. Do you ever feel like sort of a pay it forward? Do people contact you, slide into your DMs on, hey, can you give me some advice? And are you open to giving people advice, or sort of paying it forward to new people that want to get into the industry?
Yes, I see how a lot of people get into the industry, and it can be, you know, they don't not necessarily do it right, but they can get taken advantage of often, because like, you know, this isn't like, this industry is very nice and it's a very great place to be, but just like anywhere, you know, if you're not like looking out for yourself, or you don't know how to like work your way through it, there's a good chance you're going to get taken advantage of. And so like I do like to help when it's like the opportunity is like right there. But a lot of the time, you know, I'll get like messages on Twitter, and it's just like, how do I get started? And then it's just
Right.
like,
Well, yeah.
that's
Watch
everybody's
my
different.
TED talk, and when I give it, and you can learn from it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's more just kind of like a lot of people just like, it's just they want to talk, and
Yeah.
but then it's just I mean, like the best thing I could tell people is just like, you know, find an agent, and it's really easy to find. And then once you go on from there, and you've got yourself, you can get going, and then, you know, then that's a different story. But if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, lastly, there was two things I got that you gave me some inspiration. One of them you just reminded me of, and Cameron Diaz has talked about this: the importance of drinking a huge thing of water when you wake up in the morning. And you probably don't remember you said that, but
I don't
I
remember,
watched,
but
yeah, I watched Cameron Diaz say that, and I was doing it for a while, and I forgot about it. And then I watched this film and saw you, and now I'm going to get my huge canister of water. But the other thing is you do muscle ups in your video, and I'm a former gymnast trying to get back into it, and I got
I don't
this
know.
like band thing to assist me, where you wrap it and then it'll
Yeah.
help you up. Any advice you can give me to do a muscle up, like a tip?
Yeah. So I learned to kind
Work
of fuck
out
up.
more. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not that. I mean, I mean, I learned the long way because I taught myself how to do it instead of just like YouTubing or like asking somebody. So it's like, I that's the best way I learned is like by fucking up and then doing it. So definitely the best way to do it is working your chest bar because and it's also like people think like, oh, do a kipping muscle up first is like the best way to do it because then you can get above the bar, but it's just like you want
It's
to
all
do
that
it.
push-up part, right?
Yeah, kind of. So it's like, but people want to like go like do the kipping right away, but like learning something strict and like the actual motion of doing it is better than like, doing the kipping motion. So my best advice for it is getting it, working your chest bar. So like pulling all the way to here and getting that because
Oh,
once you're here, then all you gotta do is push. So
right.
what most people don't realize and like how I fucked it up was I would do pull like to here like a normal pull up and then like fling my elbows forward and then push. But like if you could pull up to about to your chest and then all you have to do is
Right.
push. So just
Okay.
chest to bar pull ups.
I'm on it, Dante, and I'm gonna when I get it, I'll send you a video, and you
Hell
can
yeah.
give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Dante Colle, I want to thank you so much. The movie is called Pornstar Pandemic. The Guys. It's out July 28th on DVD and on VOD, and people can follow you at Twitter and Instagram at Dante_Colle. Correct?
Yes.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad we did this.
Absolutely.